Welcome to Insight Builder channel, Python experts and my dear friends. In the last video, we were discussing about building the functions in the views.py and then wiring up the URLs. In this video, we will see how to place the data that we get from the views.py into the HTML page. We will begin by the views.function because the URLs is already wired up. Let's go to the CLI. So this is the views.py script, and inside the views.py we already have the home function from which we are trying to get the context. We are returning the JSON response. What we are going to do now is we are going to remove the JSON response and we are going to return and render the page. You might be wondering, we don't have the page, so how will this work? Let us see what happens. So I am going to inform that look for a home underscore trial.txt and use the context that you see above into the page. So this is what I am telling to the function, and I am saying this home underscore trial.text, it will be searched in the templates folder. So what will Django do is it will come to the root of this project. So this is the root of the project, and inside the root of the project it will look for a templates folder. So we see there is a template folder. You need to create this. This is the first step, and inside the templates folder we need to have the home underscore trial.html. We will create it by using touch home underscore trial.html. So this is how you create it. It's a very simple process, and now we have this file. We need to also ensure that the templates folder is registered in the Django project. So for that we come to the project, go into the project folder and go into the settings.py, scroll down, and you need to ensure that inside this line number 53 this templates name is entered. What this means is the Django has to look at the templates folder inside the root of the project for getting the data. This is a plain HTML trial.text. So how the HTML trial.text will look, it will be empty in fact. So let me show that. So this is an empty home underscore trial.txt. What we are going to do next is we are going to save this and we are going to go to the server. The server is already up and running. Let me go to the server right now and let me restart it. Okay, we see that already the error is occurring. Once I try to restart the server, it is telling that home underscore trial.txt is missing. So this is a error that I have made in the file. So let's go back to the views.py, and instead of home underscore trial.txt I need to use HTML. So that was my mistake. I am changing it now. So once I change it, now let us come back and you'll see that now I am able to visit this particular path. So this is the path that I have assigned to the URL. So if you come to the URLs, so the URL that I have opened it, this is in the application. So this is in the project. So I'm opening this and you'll see that the application path, so whatever is inside the application, it will be accessed at this path with underscore g. Let's go to the browser and you can see that I am on with underscore g and there is an empty space here. So I am in the home page right now, but the home page is empty. That's because our actual home page is empty. We have not placed anything there. So if you take a look at this, we have not placed anything there. So if I now try to do one rendering, this is the home page, you'll see that this will get rendered. So let me execute this, and then if I go back to the browser now, you'll see that this is home page got rendered. Our intention is to not only work with HTML but to work with the Django template language. So you will be wondering, so how will let me go to the CLI. So how will the data that is available in the views.py, so in this context, how will this context be referred in the HTML page? For that, what you'll have to do is, I will show this step, but you should not use this in the real case. So you have to create a script, and in the script you can start creating a new variable. So I am writing JavaScript right now. You can say catx is equal to, and you need to open double curly braces like this. So inside the double curly braces, you have to call the catx variable. The catx variable is coming from, let me show you in a moment, and ensure that this is enclosed in like this. It should be a string, or else what will happen is it will throw an error. So let me close this and let me show you from where the catx is coming. So the catx is coming from this context, right? When this context is sent to the page, the context dictionary is stripped out, and the page is accessing all these variables separately. So it will access catx separately, video list separately, and text separately. This is what I'm going to show you, how to check these things in the console.log. So I'll be showing you how this works in the browser in a moment. So I'm using this and I'm saving this. Let me go to the browser right now. So you see this is a home page, but in the home page you don't see any change. You have to go to the inspect and you need to look at the console. So in the console, you see the output of the category. So this is the various category. Let me zoom in a bit so you guys can see this. So this is the list of category ID 27.1. You can see the name, film animation, and you will see lots of character escaping here, because this is the text that is created by JavaScript inside. So it will actually add lots of this escaping in order to paste it inside the web page. So that is how it works. The reason why I am showing this is only for your understanding. You will not be using this way of working with JavaScript. It is better to work with the JSON response. So if you can use JSON response and send the context, then you will get it as a JSON object itself inside your web server. So that is more easier, like an API, to take it forward. But if you are going to use this context and try to work with the JSON JavaScript objects, it is going to be very unsafe. You should not use this. There are lots of vulnerabilities that arises because of this. I'm just showing it to you for your understanding. What we are going to do next is we are going to go to home. Excuse me. We are going to visit home.trial. We are going to remove this. Okay, we don't need this. And below this, I'm going to first of all create a new paragraph. And inside the new paragraph, I'm going to open this curly braces again. I'm going to call text. And this is going to fill the text that is coming from this value. Okay, so that is what is going to be done. And below that, I'm going to create two lists. So let me do this. Let me say h2. This is list of categories. I am showing this in the basic HTML so that you guys can understand exactly how to create your own HTML if you want. And here I am going to use the for loop for elim in catx, and I am going to say list. So inside the list, I want to place the values. So catx dot category ID will be the first variable that will get placed, and right below that I want to leave a gap. I want to leave a space here, and then catx dot category name. Both of these things I will first show how this works, so that the later step you can easily manage. Li, and I'm going to close this UL. And now let me save it. Let me go to the browser, close this and execute this. You will see that I'm getting a kind of an error. So it is saying unenclosed tag in line 6. So let's go to the CLI and we see that let's take a look at where is the error. So I have to close the for loop or else it will not work. So I have to close the for loop by using end for like this. That is the error. Let's go to the browser again and let's see. So the moment I do the refresh, you see that I am getting kind of an output. So this is saying it is actually giving me the text data. So this text data is working out properly. However, I am not getting any of the category data. It is actually trying to fill something. So it is purely from the backend only. There is some challenge. Let us go to the CLI. In the views.py, we have already converted the category objects into list. But when you are going to send it as a part of the render request, you need to send only the objects, the database objects, not the values. So you need to remove the list and you need to remove these values also. And same way I will do it for videos. Later I will show you in the next video I will show you how this videos are working and how the data was filled up in the next video. Let me remove this first. And now I have the rows with me. Let's I have saved it, I have edited it and I have saved it. Let's go to the browser and let me refresh it. Okay, so still there is a challenge. Just a minute. Okay, here is another one rookie mistake that I have done. If you take a look at this for loop, I am actually referring to the list again. So this is not correct. I need to refer to the element of the list. So I have to go down here and I have to change it to element. And let us save this and let us try it again. And let me go to the browser for you. Sorry. So now you see that the necessary data is already populated. So you can see the film and animation, and there is a gap, and again film the various categories, and the IDs are getting populated here. So this ID is not same as the ID that we populate in the database. So this is the ID provided by the data, not the database. Okay. So this is this page actually looks very very simple, and it does not have any kind of styling, because in fact it does not have any kind of style sheet attached to it. So if you go here and if I zoom out a bit, you will see that there is no style sheet in the head link. We need to create the style sheet and attach the style sheet to this particular page in order for it to look more interesting. For that, we need to go back to the CLI and we need to do some setup. So let's go to the settings.py. Why we are going to settings.py, I will explain in a moment. So first and foremost, we have to go to the end of the settings.py. You need to configure static underscore URL to this particular value /static root. Also you need to assign it to /static/ and then the static files dirs. Ensure that you have mentioned this name properly. It should be static files underscore dirs in line number 20, and you need to use os.path.join, and you need to join the base directory with the static. What this steps do is it tells to Django that look for static files inside the static folder. Let's go to the folders and let me show you what I mean. By doing the settings that I showed a moment ago, we are telling to Django that take a look at this static folder whenever you are starting up the server for the static files. So if I do an ls on static, and you will see already I have a CSS folder inside the static folder, and if I do an ls on that, there is already other files inside the CSS folder, that is styles.css is already available. We have to make Django to refer to this styles.css in our HTML page. So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to go to Vim again, and we are going to go to home.rails. At the top of the page, we are going to enter this command. So we are going to say load static. By using this load static, we are telling to the page that we have to refer to the static folder, and then we are going to create. So this HTML is not a properly formed HTML. So the regular HTML body is like this. So there is a header, there is a footer, there is a body, and lots of separate parts. So I'm going to attach those things. I'm going to close the body, and I'm going to close the HTML also. So now this is a fully formed HTML page, and I'm going to remove this header because it's not required. I already have a header. Here under the styles.stylesheet, you see that I am referring to static. I have created this kind of a tag. This is called as a DTL tag, and I'm referring to CSS styles.css, and this is a base page. So I'm saying this is a base page. So this is a style sheet that I'm referring. Anyway, I have already loaded the static here, so I can remove the static from here. Now save this. Ensure that you are loading the static inside the head tag. I have saved this page right now, and let us go to the URL right now. And now you see that when compared to the past, the fonts look a little bit different. Here I have not given any additional changes, but if you go to inspect, and now if you look here, you will see that I will be referring to static css.styles.css. So whatever styles that I am providing here, it will get reflected into the page. So let's do like this. Let's now visit the CSS to see how to modify them. You can see that if I come to this particular line number 7, and if I remove it, let me go back. Let me remove the line number 7 and 8. Let me save it, and let me go to the browser again, and you'll see the page is having white background, and it does not have any kind of fonts. It is using basic fonts. Now let me go back to the CLI, and I'm going to do Control Z, and I'm going to write it again and refresh the browser, and let me come back to the browser. So now you see the font has changed, and the CSS is also different. So the CSS has taken. So let's go back to the PDF. So here in this particular discussion, we saw how to send the data from the context, that is from the views function, to the front end of the HTML page, and we also saw how to work with the DTL. This is how the basics mechanism works in Django. I believe that you like this content. Do leave a like, share it with others, and do subscribe to my channel for further updates on similar kind of discussion on Django and Python open ecosystem. Till the next video, practice, 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 practice.